Welcome back to the channel. Season 3 put a whole bunch of different updates, nerfs, buffs, gun balances, and more for all the guns in Warzone. And so we're going to be going over the top 10 guns to be using after this update. As you all well know, most of the sniper rifles and marksman rifles do not one-shot headshot anymore. And so we're going to be going over the 2 best sniper rifles that I think you guys should be using, as well as some sniper support guns, the new SMGs and ARs to use, and even a shotgun. As far as the best sniper rifle I think to use currently in Warzone, it's going to be the ZRG. I know a lot of people have been talking about the HDR, and we'll get to that in just a second, but this loadout right here is nuts. Using the wrap suppressor, combat recon barrel, 5-1-watt laser sight, 5-round mag, and the jungle grip. Or you can also use the airborne elastic. With this sniper rifle, you will be able to one-shot headshot at any range on any map, period. It also benefits from having insane bullet velocity, and you're able to penetrate Berthas as well as SUVs and all the other vehicles and some buildings, even on Caldera. An amazing gun that you can pair with the ZRG is going to be the Milano. Now, I know that the Milano got a nerf quite some time ago, but this thing is still kind of crazy, even with all the weapon charts that I checked. In fact, it has a range that rivals most ARs, even after 60 meters. And so the loadout that I would use for the sniper support gun would be agency suppressor, task force barrel. For the underbarrel, if you like more hipfire, you can use bruiser. If you struggle with the recoil, then you can use the field agent grip. For magazine, you do want the 55 round fast mag. And then for the optic, depends on what you want to do. If you tend to fight a little bit more ranged, you can use a 2x or a 3x. If you wanted a little bit more close range, you can use the microflex LED. Now, the AR that most people are going to use is probably going to be the recently buffed STG, with all of the recoil control that it now has, and also that it does more damage at range than the XM4 and the Automaton. This is the loadout that I would be using for the STG. MX silencer, 760 barrel, hand stop, 60 round drum mag, lengthened, polymer grip, focus, on hand. You can use the precision or the weighted stock, and your sight of choice. A lot of people are going to be picking Vital, but Vital actually increases your recoil, and so I think you can probably do with anything else. You could also probably do sleight of hand, but Focus gives you that bonus flinch resistance, which is pretty OP. Now, for an SMG to use with the STG, I'm still going to come back to the Welgun. I know that the Welgun got a little bit of a nerf halfway through Season 2, but with the Owen also being nerfed, I think that the Welgun has a lot of potential, especially because it has Gung Ho. This is the loadout that I use. Recoil booster, shrouded barrel. You can use the Carver foregrip, or you can use the hand stop. Both are good. Gorenko 40 round mag, lengthened, pine tar grip, gung ho, quick, folding stock. You struggle with recoil, then you probably want to use the this custom stock and the slate reflector optic. Moving on to zero recoil guns that all of us love, we're going back to the M13. Now, if you guys have seen me play with the M13 on Rebirth, you guys know that not only this gun has zero recoil, but it also has insane amounts of damage, and it's quite scary how fast the TTK is. I've been able to wipe squads with this gun, no problem. And as far as the build goes, you could probably use this for big map as well. This is the big map loadout that I would use. Mono suppressor, marksman barrel, commando foregrip, 60 round mag. And I like the Cronin because you can see a little bit more, but most people would probably be okay with a VLK sight because the VLK is just a 3. Cronin gives you a little bit more zoom. Now, for Rebirth, this is my specific loadout. I don't use an underbarrel. I switch it out for attack laser. I use the mini reflex with a blue dot, but you can also use a hollow blue dot, but everything else remains the same. Now, one of the surprise guns that I found for Rebirth as far as an SMG is going to go to the CX9, also known as the Scorpion, also known as codename Serac. Now, for whatever reason, this gun is insane for hipfire. I have very little recoil at range. The headshot multiplier is nuts. I get a lot of death comms when I kill people with this thing. This is the loadout that I use. 5-milliwatt laser, Merc foregrip, 50 round drum, sleight of hand, and this shortest stock, which actually gives you also another hipfire buff. Now, for another big map AR that you could use if you are okay trading some recoil for even more damage is going to be the EM2. Now, the EM2 had a recoil nerf, meaning they increased the recoil of it a little bit, but the damage profile on this gun, in my opinion, is pretty much second to none. I've used this gun on Rebirth. I've used this gun on Big Map. It's one of my personal favorites. Let me show you the loadout. Agency suppressor, task force barrel, axial arms 3x, field agent, and 50 round mag for big map, and you can use 40 for the small map if you want, but it doesn't really matter. Now, with the EM2, you could use any of the SMGs, or you could pull out one of my personal favorites, the VLK, also known as the Barbecue 2.0. This shotgun will one-shot as long as you're close enough, period, and you get a headshot. This is the loadout that I use for it. Forge Tac Marauder, Warlord Barrel, 5-milliwatt laser, Dragon's Breath, and Sleight of Hand. I've tried a whole bunch of different loadouts for this gun. this one is the one that works the best for me. Now, I told you that we would come back to the HDR, and boy, am I excited that this gun is making its way back into Warzone. In the early days of Verdansk, I remember using the HDR with thermal sights in order to be able to find people all around the map. And I still think that the HDR remains viable, especially that it has very strong one-shot potential at all ranges for big map. Here's a loadout that you can use. Mono suppressor, HDR pro barrel, tac laser, this F-tac stock, and deep breath for the perk. Now, if you would like to have a little bit better vision on the map, you can trade this deep breath perk for one of the special optics. You could use a thermal scope that has insane range, or you could use a variable zoom scope, which also gives you range but less thermal capability. Now, an SMG that I would pair with the HDR is still actually going to be the Owen. And I know they nerfed the Owen. Why are we going to be using the Owen? Well, simply for the fact that it has a 72 round mag and it has one of the best sustains in the game. I don't think it's going to be the #1 pick for as many people anymore, but it's still going to be a top choice, and as many would call it, top tier viable. Here's the loadout that you can use. Recoil booster, rapid barrel, Carver foregrip, 7.62 Gorenko 72 round drum, lengthened, stipple grip, acrobatic, quick, remove stock, slate reflector. You can change out the Carver for a hand stop if you like, and you can also change out this rear grip depending on your preference. I know I promised 10 guns, but I'm going to give you a bonus because that's just how we do things here. The M16. For big map and small map, this might just be the gun for you. The time to kill and controllability of this gun is really, really strong. I'm going to be excited to see how it plays out. For this gun, I would be using agency silencer, titanium barrel, field agent grip, magazine of choice. You can use a 60 fast or 45 fast axial arms 3x. 10 guns, 5 loadouts for season 3. Let me know what you think about these gun builds after you've tested them. And if you found this helpful, like the video, share it with a friend, say hi in the comment section down below. And if you'd like more, make sure to double check that you are subscribed and have that bell turned on. Thanks, guys.